Hey guys, Zach here, coming at you with another video. I know you guys aren't seeing my face, it's kind of because I look a little like crap today, so I apologize about that. But today, we are going to be going over my favorite boss ghosts from Luigi's Mansion 3. Now, you might be wondering, Zach, didn't you do a video on this already? I kinda did. I did a video talking about the boss fights, not actually the ghosts themselves. So today, I'm actually going to be ranking the ghosts based on two key criteria. Their physical design, how they look, and how good I think they are compared to some of the ghosts from the original game, and also their personalities and how they kind of exude themselves. So, without any further ado guys, let's get started with today's video. First up is Captain Fishhook. Now, I know he is really low, and maybe he shouldn't be this low. But the thing is with him is that I think his design is good, he looks decent. But I'm not a fan of the fact that Captain Fishhook is not actually really like a shark. He doesn't feel like a shark. You see, the thing is with Luigi's Mansion games in the past, anytime you come across an animal ghost, it usually acted like the animal was trying to represent. Like Polterkitty even, for instance, from this game. So Captain Fishhook not really acting like a shark in his battle, he acted more like a human, just kind of inhabiting a shark, and I just thought that was really stupid. It didn't work for me. I know lots of people like Captain Fishhook, just because, oh, it's a shark, it's a pirate. But I don't really see the appeal of it. I don't like it that much at all. His design is cool, but just the fact that he doesn't act like a shark, in his nature, just kind of bugs me. Next up is Stewart. Now, Stewart is as bland as you can get. The real thing is with him is that I really don't like his design very much. He just looks very basic. I think he almost looks like a goob, just like a little bit skinnier and taller and with a nose. Like, he just doesn't have anything to him that makes him stand out. Like, for the first boss ghost you face in the game, you expect him to have a more memorable design, kind of like Neville from the original game. To me, Stewart just doesn't look that good. He looks really basic, really generic. Heck, I even think the Stewart I designed was better, from back in the day. So, yeah, I really don't like Stewart's design, and he really doesn't have much of a personality. He throws suitcases at you, and, does that little scaredy face, but he doesn't have much else to him. Like, there's not really much there. Next up is chambray. Chambray is here because she's basically the same as Stewart. No real personality, nothing to her. But the thing is, her design isn't as basic as Stewart. There's a little more to her, but again, not enough to make me really care about her or think that she's well designed or anything. One of my problems with the boss ghosts or quote-unquote human ghosts, particularly with the bottom half of this list, is that quite a few of them don't really look like humans. They don't have a humanoid shape to them like they did before. And yes, some ghosts in Luigi's Mansion 1 had that as well, like Jarvis and all that, but they were rare and few and far between. Here, it seems like most of them have basic ghost designs, and chambray's face in particular just doesn't look quite humanish, and I just think it works against her in her design department. And again, very bland personality, not much to her, besides the fact that she can eat a whole suitcase in one sitting. Like, that's pretty impressive, not gonna lie. But other than that, there's really not much else to her. Alright, getting ready for unpopular opinion time. I think Crawler has a decent personality. I think his personality is well exuded. You can definitely tell that he's a mall cop. He's obviously very cowardly. You can see a little bit of personality in him. My problem is, I absolutely hate his design. His design is probably, of everything here, my least favorite, but his personality brings him above some of the other ones for me, obviously. He just looks so blobby and fake, and even in his cutscenes, he just looks so weird. I don't even know what to call it, the materialing of his skin just looks so weird. It's like plasticky and shiny, it's like a toy rather than a ghost. And, his design is just, I don't know, maybe I'm just expecting too much out of human ghosts to look like humans. I mean, they even said it themselves in the interview that these are supposed to be human ghosts, and rather than putting a shirt on him, if you took that shirt off and, his clothing, he would look like a common ghost, basically. So, I don't know, he just doesn't look that appealing to me. He's probably the ugliest one of the bunch, but, yeah, that's all I gotta say on Crawler. Next up is Nikki, Lindsay, and Ginny. Now, you guys are probably surprised about this, because obviously they are my favorite ghosts to fight in Luigi's Mansion 3. I love fighting them, their boss fight's the best, but I think that these particular ghosts are pretty lame. There's not much personality from them, besides the fact that they're mischievous. Like, they're like, whoa, I'm popping out of a hat, I'm being a mischievous ghost, which I guess is a personality in and of itself, again, why it's not lower. But I do think the designs of them are relatively basic. There's nothing stand out here. I mean, I guess the only notable thing is the hairstyles distinguishing the 3 ghosts, because they're triplets, obviously. But other than that, there's really not much there that, like, makes me think that they're well designed. They're just mediocre or okay at best. Okay, now we're starting to get into the ghosts that I'm more okay with, that I don't hate, but I don't love them. Next up is Chef Flay. Now, Chef Flay is interesting because I like the fact that he looks pretty decent. Like, he's not the best looking. He kind of falls under the issue that I had with Crawler, to where he really doesn't look human. He just kind of looks blobby, but he definitely has more human features that definitely puts him way above Crawler in terms of visual design. You know, the mustache, and I really like the fact that he has green eyes, because for some reason this game likes giving ghosts, particularly the boss ghosts, white eyes, and I think white eyes is, like, I don't know, I think it's so, like, I don't know, I like colors, like a yellow, or even this green that Chef Flay has, and I really, really like that. Problem is that his personality, again, is pretty basic. He's just a chef that throws temper tantrums. There's really not much more depth to it. It's just kind of that. So, yeah, Chef Flay, he's good. You know, I like his design a little bit. He's got, like, enough personality to say that you can tell he's just an angry chef, but nothing more than that. Next up is Midas Wolfgeist. He's pretty cool. I like his, I can't even call it a personality. Again, he's just a musician that gets angry. There's not much else there, but there's definitely more to him than Chef Flay. You can see in his body movements, the way he acts when Luigi's around, looking like, like he doesn't even care. Like, that's the kind of thing I like, and I'm glad that they were able to exude that with the Midas Wolfgeist, and it's okay, but I still would have wanted just a little bit more. That's where dialogue would really work. I think a Midas Wolfgeist could have worked perfectly, because that's one thing I loved about Van Gogh, is that Van Gogh was this, like, French artist, and you could tell that by the way he spoke, and, and all that, with a lot of the Z's, and just the way he spoke, his speech patterns. And I think a Midas Wolfgeist could have had that same exact thing, like, oh, you're not appreciating my art, or something like that, and it just would have given him more personality. And also, there's something about his face that I'm not a huge fan of, and I think, again, going back to Chef Flay, I think he would have worked with different colored eyes. Like, I don't know, just the white eyes don't do anything for me. It's so bright and vibrant, I don't know. Like, I think like a more dull color, like a duller green or a duller yellow, or even like a red for actually. I think a Midas Wolfgeist would have worked with red eyes because of how angry he gets. And I don't know, like, he's good, but he's just not perfect. Next up is Cersei. I feel kind of the same way about her as I kind of do a Midas Wolfgeist. You can definitely tell that she's Egyptian, with her movements and, the way she acts. Again, dialogue lines could have helped. She could have said something like, oh, you've awoken me from my slumber, now you must pay, or something, or there's a curse now upon you, or something like that, to just give her a little more spunk. And obviously they don't have that because they don't give any of these ghosts dialogue for whatever reason. But I do like her design. I think she's probably one of my favorites in terms of design, just because of the fact that she really does look like an Egyptian pharaoh. It really works out well for her. Yeah, I think she's brilliantly designed. It's just that she really could have used more in the personality department. Next up is Johnny Deepend. Johnny Deepend, I think, is well designed too. I think he looks pretty good. You could definitely tell he's human. He fits his environment well. I really like his design. It's really, really good. But again, personality, a little bit more. It's, again, kind of just basic. Oh, I'm in a pool. You're interrupting my swim. I'm going to attack you with volleyballs and water. Like, not much depth to this ghost. Really not much. So, I would have loved a little more depth from his personality. But, other than that, he's actually pretty good. This is going to be another rinse and repeat kind of thing. But again, King McFrights, another ghost I think is well designed. I think he looks great. His outfit really works for him. The beard and everything, it works. As like a Scottish kind of king kind of guy, it works. It really, really works. I just wish he had dialogue. Dialogue helps personality so much, because usually you don't know a lot about someone until you talk to them. So being able to actually hear how he speaks, what he says, could have really, really helped, because again, he's basically just throwing hissy fits and jumping in a suit of armor and attacking you. But he definitely has a step above all the rest because he has this giant arena. You can definitely tell he's like challenging you to battle, and there's definitely a little more to him than, let's say, Cersei or Johnny Deep End. There's a little more there, but I still wish there was a little bit more. Alright, here comes another unpopular opinion. Morty, not even in the top 5. Morty has the best personality of any ghost in the game. Hands down. You hear him talk, and he exudes his personality. That's why everyone really likes Morty. It just works so well, and he's a great ghost. He's so much fun to talk with. You really feel bad if you decide to capture him. He's just great. The problem is, I'm not a huge fan of his design. It's, again, another one where if you took off the clothes off Morty, he would kind of blend in with the common ghost a little bit. He doesn't have that humanness to him that people like King McFrights and Cersei did. Either way, Morty is a great ghost, like, don't get me wrong, but he's just not exactly what I think of when I'm talking about novel looks and human-looking ghosts. He just doesn't quite do it for me. He's almost there, but he's not there enough. Okay, so now we're in the top 5. Next up is DJ Phantasmagoria. I love almost everything about her. She looks great. You can definitely tell a little bit of personality. Again, dialogue would have helped, but she's definitely got more of a sassy 80s disco vibe to her, and it gives her personality, and it makes her a little more, interesting to see, and like I said, her visual design also kind of backs up the, the personality of her, so it's awesome. I love her. But again, the only reason why she's not higher is because her personality could use a little more substance. She's definitely got a personality, but it's very surface level personality. You don't know much about her. Next up is Dr. Potter. Basically same as DJ Phantasmagoria, except I think his design is probably up there with my favorites from this game. I love how Dr. Potter looks, his design, the scruffy beard, the flower in the hat, the backpack, the watering can. It just gives him so much visual eye candy to where it's such an amazing ghost to look at. He's actually amazing. But for a passionate gardener, I feel like I would have wanted to see a little bit more about how he treated his plants and, hearing more about his desire, maybe his favorite plants. Hearing that kind of stuff and learning about these ghosts. Especially the fact that Dr. Potter is one of those ghosts that you kind of see throughout the floor. So I would love to have learned more about him throughout his floor, but unfortunately that's just not the case. Next up is Ugg. Now here's the thing, right? People are probably wondering, why is Ugg up this high? Since you barely saw him, you mostly saw the dinosaur. Ugg has almost no personality. But I think for the fact that because he's a caveman, I think it works. Usually I'm not a huge fan of the physical humor from these ghosts. I'm just not a huge fan of it. But with Ugg, it kind of works because of the fact that he's a caveman. And that kind of thing relies on physical humor, because you can't really talk with a caveman. It's a lot more about their movements and their groans. So I think Ugg, it just really, really works. And even though, again, he doesn't look the most human, if you took off the clothes, he could be a common ghost almost, he still looks good. His square face, his scruffy hair, and his, almost toga thing, I don't know what it's called, but it just looks so good, and I think Ugg is a brilliantly designed ghost that, I don't know if he's underrated, but just definitely underappreciated. Number 2, bet you didn't see this coming, Clem. I think Clem is very much in the same boat as Ugg, except Clem obviously has a lot more design to him. He looks pretty human, he's got great features. You see a little bit of his personality, you see some of the stuff he has, he has, a shovel wife, or a mop bucket with something with a face drawn on it. It's just, you see his lonely personality. Obviously he's very hillbilly, you see him spit, you see, it's just, his personality is exuded so well. And I know this is probably a surprise to people because everyone knows how I'm not a huge fan of Boilerworks, but Clem is almost a perfect boss ghost. The only thing he could have used, again, is dialogue. But other than that, he is perfect in almost every other regard, in my personal opinion. And then lastly is Helen Gravely. Now, Helen Gravely, I was kind of torn on putting up at number 1, because the thing is, I'm just not a huge fan of her character. I think she's relatively cliche, not the best, but she does exude everything that I like in a boss ghost. She looks like a human, very much designed that way. She has personality, she has dialogue, you learn more about her, there's a little bit of depth, not that much depth. You don't learn, a little bit of backstory about her or anything, but there's definitely enough depth there to give her her own unique character and personality, and I really think it works. As much as I'm not the biggest fan of it, it still works. So Helen Gravely is by far, of course, the best boss ghost in the game. So what do you guys think? Do you agree with what I had to say, or did you completely disagree with everything I had to say? Let me know down in the comments down below what you think, and yeah. So until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next video.